Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Romans 12:19. God is claiming revenge to be his own personal area of authority. Um, like your dad saying, that's my chair, that's my remote, which you may have various opinions upon, but they're his. And God is saying, vengeance is mine. It's my dominion. Now, my thought has always been that because I'm a sinner, I can't take revenge without my own sinful motives being involved. God is the only one that can take revenge without sinful motives involved. Even if emotionally you feel as if your motives are pure because they wronged you. Also, my pastor said something very brilliant. He said, God says vengeance is mine because he's better at it than us. And I thought to myself, yes, my goodness, that is a brilliant way to put it. I'm just not as good at it. My vengeance, you think to yourself, what's the perfect way to get back to somebody? Would never be as good and frankly never as educational. Because unless God is fully putting a person in the ground, there's always the hope that they're going to learn from that and come back from it. Um, Humans can't really get it right. We very much embody an eye for an eye makes everybody blind. An eye for an eye being an Old Testament statement, everybody blind being a Gandhi statement. Now, Gandhi was halfway to the truth, is that God's the one that needs to be allowed to take revenge, just not that nobody should. God should. So I want to talk about legal and illegal warfare as God sees it. So God's laying a boundary there. You taking revenge is sin. God taking revenge is righteousness. Me taking revenge is sin. God taking revenge is righteousness. I alluded to in the introduction to this series that many people have come to me saying, God told me I can talk to you about this and you can pray for me and you're going to understand and you're going to make me feel understood and heard. And okay, I have to listen, obviously. And so I know an innumerable amount of people that have come to me to talk about abuse and rape and about assault that they've experienced. That's a horrible thing, and we all ought to be gentle and dealers of God's healing to these people. Um, but there is a revenge that is desired inside of people that have been hurt that's very hard to let go. I've met an unbelievable amount of people who have a specific program inside them. And let me see if I can articulate that program that I think I've seen in the eyes of the Spirit looking at people's behavior. And it goes like this. When you were too weak to stop anyone from hurting you, somebody hurt you real bad, and they damaged your soul, and they damaged your self-esteem, and they damaged you spiritually, they might have damaged you physically, and inside of you, you thought, somebody should be here to help me. Somebody should be here to fix this. I wish I could stand up and hurt them to stop them. And that thought, I wish I could have done something, is not wrong, it's just. That person grows to an adult, and then as they're healing from those pains, there's a person inside of them that's still back in the moment where they were hurt, where they were assaulted, where they were abused. And the voice is saying, I'm never going to let anybody else push me around again. And so that when someone reminds them of that situation, now for the most part, things that happened to you when you were a kid can't happen when you're an adult. You've got much more agency and control over your life as an adult. Um, you can stay out of bad situations, and you don't have to have somebody tell you you have to go to this house with these people because somebody said so. That's not my point, though. You're different and you have more agency, but you wish you'd done something or somebody had done something so that you can't go back in time. But when situations emerge that remind you in the slightest of that situation that hurt you, the program restarts and you say, well, I couldn't do it then, I'm going to fight now. And so this person who may merely just, okay, let's say it was an authority figure, let's say it was a parent or an uncle or a teacher or a pastor, somebody who is now an authority figure of just intent and gentle intention towards you that is trying to be a leader to you says, hey, I need you to do this thing. And the part of you that responds badly to people trying to tell you what to do says, aha, I can now fight against this person because I couldn't fight against that person. And you are then at that moment taking revenge. Now, this is how we say God is good at it and we're bad at it. You're now in that moment taking revenge on somebody who is dissymbolic of that person. Because you're like, I'm never going to be told what to do by an authority figure again. I'm never going to be told what to do by a man, never going to be told what to do by a woman, never going to be told what to do by this particular government official. The suffering part is something we should have compassion for and desire to help that person grow through. The revenge part is actual sin. The revenge part is stealing something God can do right and doing it badly. And if you could see yourself clearly, you'd be a little embarrassed by it. That as a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old adult, you're responding to situations that remind you of your bad, horrible, sinful, negative experience, remind in the present like it's the same thing, and you're fighting um, your spouse, your pastor, your boss, local law enforcement, your landlord, the way that you wish you could have fought your abuser, who may have been a parent, a sibling, a pastor, a person of responsibility in your life. Thank you, Two Skies. Two Skies can see that I'm in the midst of recording this. Two Skies, you are a kind and gentle and honorable and well-groomed brother, and I'm glad to know you. Do you have? I don't know if you have a shirt quite as nice as this, though. These are really great. I had to seek out an actual Western wear store to get this. Anyway, thank you, Two Skies. That was nice. I'm going to abbreviate this. This is going to be in pieces, but that sense where you're taking revenge in the present on a thing that happened in the past is unjust. And it is going against what God says about who gets to take vengeance. Now, I want to see if I can say this carefully to all the people that have shared their specific stories with me on this topic. I want to say it like you've gotten to the first hill of a larger mountain. And it is good that you're able to talk about it. You're able to be a functional adult. You're able to talk about pain and suffering and able to speak up when you feel pushed or violated or sinned against or manipulated. But the next big hill is present authority figure is not just a manifestation of former authority figure. This person here today is probably God's representative, an imperfect person, but the spouse or boss or landlord or sibling or friend or government official who is currently trying to be God's representative in your life and doing something authoritative with you is not the enemy, and you're not righteous to stand up to them the way that you wish when you were 5 or 8 or 10 you had stood up to the aggressor in your life. That vengeance is God's. There is a spiritual knife in your hand, a gun, a bullwhip, a grenade, with which you desire to do the spiritual and physical and emotional harm that was done to you. If you could acknowledge that, you can confess this to God and say, I can't get all the way to the top of the mountain healing on this subject until I can acknowledge that I still want to take revenge on this person. 20 years ago, they may be dead, they may be 80, they may be in jail, they may not have seen me in 50 years. But I'm trying to take revenge on them anytime somebody pushes me in a way that feels like the person that hurt me pushed me. I pray that I am being bold and intense in a way that acknowledges real suffering and at the same time encourage you toward real healing. I'm going to stop right there. We're going to continue talking about the legal and illegal weapons of spiritual warfare next time. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please, if I have blessed you or encouraged you or equipped you in any fashion, please like and subscribe and pray for me. Thanks a lot.